Hey guys, this is Ashley and Russ, and this is She Wolf Alchemy. And today we're talking about lifestyle over love, making sure the lifestyle that you want is compatible with the person you love, and being mindful that love is not necessarily all you need. You need a little bit more stuff in there.
Yes. And this is like a way of saying choose the lifestyle you want over a person that you like.
Mhm.
And we get that that's really hard for people to hear. And it can definitely ruffle some feathers because we are, especially women, I feel like we're definitely raised to like romanticize love and relationships and like really like we're told like it's wrong to even factor in those other things. Now we also are told like get the money and all this stuff, but like that's a thing too. But I feel like you're allowed to say that like jokingly or laugh along to a song. But if you really was just like, no, I decided not to be with that person anymore because their lifestyle was just not heading in a direction that I wanted. It's like, so then you didn't really love them.
Hmm. You definitely get that sentiment.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So yeah, so diving into that, the hard truth about liking someone. Rest. Have you ever had this happen? Like, have you ever dealt with this phenomena in your life?
Oh, yes. Oh, for sure. Oh, for sure. I definitely was in a long-term relationship actually with someone in my, like, early 20s
Mhm.
where, honestly, this was a relationship that taught me, like, "Oh, I like hustlers. I like very ambitious men." And here's the thing, I think sometimes people hear that and they think, like, money, so they're like, "Oh, you like rich men. You want you see, because 'cause y'all want men making 6 figures, and that's not realistic for all of us." And that's not what I mean, but I like men who are like, "Okay, there's a problem. I'm gonna do something about it." I
Mhm.
like men who are just like, "I need money, so I'm gonna go out and do it. I'm
Mhm.
gonna work." I like men who like I do, I like men who like to work, or not
A
like,
man
but
with a
are like,
plan. A
"Yeah, a
man with a
man with a
plan.
plan." And so I was in this long-term relationship, and they were older than me too. They were older than me by like 5, 6 years,
Mhm.
and they were very intelligent,
Mhm.
highly intelligent person, great conversationalist, but did not like to work. And I had noted it beforehand, and I kinda ignored it because he was so smart, and I was just like, "Oh, he's so smart. It's okay. It's
Mhm.
fine. He'll find a way around it." But here's the thing. I know there's a quote that says, like, "If you want to find the best way to do something, ask the laziest person to do it, and
Mhm.
they'll find the quickest way to do it, if
Mhm.
you can get them to do it." That's the part about of that scenario that they leave out. If you
Yeah.
if they'll actually will start it. And that was an issue, like, he was not a self-starter. He was not a self-starter. He was very okay with the bare minimal of everything in life, and I'm just not. I'm just not, and it came to a point where it was just one day we were living together, and I was just like, "Okay," like, I was coming up with plans, like, "Okay, this is gonna be our 5-year plan. We're gonna blah, 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 blah," and he had got fired from this job because he kept calling off. He just every day, every week, it just seemed like the man had a reason he needed to call off. And so I'm doing this. I'm talking to a coworker. She got a husband that works at this other company. And she was like, "Hey, they can put him on and they could get on this job." And the job that they were offering was paying $30,000 more than what he was making.
Mhm.
And I was like,
Mhm.
"Hey, they're going to put you on. All you got to do is send your resume."
Mhm.
And like her husband's a supervisor. She has already told him about you. He says, "Look, send it in." And I got him. Do you know that man just refused to send it in? Like, it was like a month of me being like, "Did you do your resume?" "No." So I did his resume. Then it was, "Did you send it in?" "No." So I sent it in. "Did you
Yeah.
call him back?" "No." And when I asked him why, he was just like, "I mean," and that's just hard labor. It's like laborious work. And I was like, "You ain't got no job right now. You a grown able-bodied man and you ain't got a job right now?" And it wasn't hard labor's work, by the way. It was not. It just required that man to stand. It just required that man to stand. And he just kept giving excuses, excuses. And then I just noticed that it was a pattern. This man was somebody who was getting like opportunities dropped in his lap. He was involved in um, some different industries. And like he got an opportunity to work on a movie. They liked his work. They wanted him to do some stuff. And he just wouldn't show up to all the meetings. when they were like, "Hey, we're gonna try to get this thing. We're trying to get more of a budget. If you can send over some of your work so we can explain why we need you, particularly so that wouldn't send it over." And I was like, "Oh, I got to get the hell up out of here because this is gonna be my life. This is gonna be my life. Me working hard and you finding a reason why you should not be working." Like,
Mhm.
and to him, and don't get me wrong, he did just enough to cover basic bills, but like that was all. And I was like, "How are we supposed to have a family off this? How are we supposed to retire off this? How are we supposed to like vacation off this? Like, you are doing just enough so phones stay on, so we have a roof over our head, but, like, that's all." And, like, he was perfectly okay with it, and it drove me crazy, and I was like, "Oh, okay." Like, had this eureka moment in the middle of that relationship where or actually, the end, because I surely got my plan to leave after that, where I was like, "Oh, this is what life will be. If I stay with this man, I don't care how much he makes me laugh, I don't care how much of a good time we have together. If I want the type of lifestyle that I want, he is never gonna help me get there. He is gonna be a burden I have to carry with me to get to
Mhm.
that." And I did not think it was worth it. What
Mhm.
about you?
Oh, no, I have paid my dues and had my time with a broke ass man. And when I say broke, I just kind of like what you described. It's more of that lack of like just ambition and that lack of willing to like move forward into something. The relationship I was in, we were fairly young. And so I didn't expect much, but I after a few years, it's like, okay, we're getting older. I'm making progress in my life. Like I'm going for it. I got 2 jobs. I'm in college. Like I'm really doing this. And you can't hold a job. You can't maintain a job. You getting fired for silly stuff or you quitting for dumb stuff and then you want to blame it on them. It's always somebody else's fault as to why you weren't able to do something. And it was ridiculous, and I tried and I poured so much into that man and so much into our relationship, and he just was not going anywhere.
Yeah.
But I also had time to talk crap about me? That's what I always remember, um, because I had a car. Oh, ooh, I had a car I had a car that my mom bought me
Mhm,
because, hey, she could afford to do that. I don't see what the issue is.
mhm.
And I remember him like making fun of my car. He was like, "It's all stock. You didn't even get anything customized." Sir, you gotta buy a Chevy that you can't afford to fix. Okay? Like, what you talking about me? Anyway, and I remember my mom was like, "Yeah, Ashley, that boy is a bum, like, woo, woo, woo." And I was like, "Well, he can't help that his parents didn't buy him a car." And my mom literally was like, Who told you that? Who said that?" And that was something he had said to me.
Yeah,
And I was just repeating it. And she was like, "Absolutely not. And
yeah.
you should never be with someone that's going to make you feel bad for like things that you have. Like, I worked hard to be able to provide a certain lifestyle for you. Like,
Mhm,
I'm sure if she was really speaking free, she would have been like, The fact that his parents ain't do what the fuck, they don't got nothing to do with what we got going on over here." But
mhm.
anywho, so like there were plenty of times where it was like realizing, okay, we just view this different. But part of that was why I stayed in it so long because I felt like, well, different people have different
Mhm.
starting points and different privileges. And that's true. Like, that is 100% true. And I think that it's okay to be mindful of that. But, like, also, when you see, like, also sometimes you just notice some people got the juice and they don't.
Yeah.
Like, I could have started behind the line and still worked my way to a certain point. Whereas and with him, it was like you ain't even trying to get to the starting line, man. You're not even trying. And it's so funny you talked about the job situation because it was like verbatim, like I was the same, like trying to help this man find a job, even when he got into a situation where it was literally like, just show up and you will get this job. And it was a good, solid paying job and it took when he did go, he couldn't he could not stop smoking weed long enough to just pass the fucking drug test.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I
Yeah.
know people who would be like, "Oh, my job's having layoffs. Let me quit smoking.
Yes.
Let me blah, blah, blah," and like figure or they know how to go to the place to get what they need so they can do what they gotta do. Whatever the case may
Mhm.
be, I have seen people hustle through this, but that man could not problem solve, and he could not stop smoking. And
Oh my gosh, hold on. Highlight that for the back. That man could not problem solve because that's exactly what that was. That man
right.
could not problem. Oh my gosh, that man cannot problem solve to save his life.
It's nothing worse.
Oh my
And
god.
so yeah, that's it. A man with a plan is everything. That man can do it. And so, he went to go take the drug test, and he's trying to do anyway, he tried to cheat on it, they noticed it, he got busted, kicked out, you didn't get the job.
Mhm.
And I was so disgusted because it was like, all you had to do, I mean, I did every damn thing. I literally done everything for you except, like, go to the interview, go to the job with you, like, why can't you just, like, get this together? And it was just after that, it was, like, tanking,
Yeah.
like, it was tanking from there because I could get through a lot of things, like, get through there was
Mhm.
other stuff in our relationship, but for overall, like, he's a genuinely, like, good guy, like, we didn't have any problems like that, but we also couldn't, like, just go out to eat like I
Yeah.
wanted to. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
we going out to eat, you want me to only order an appetizer
Yeah.
because you can't afford an entree. Well, you can't afford the entree. I can afford the entree. I got 2 jobs. I can afford the things I want in life because I'm hustling to get them. And I
Mhm.
really realized that if I stayed with him, that I was just gonna be barefoot pregnant. We was gonna be eating cereal every day because he could not afford or was did not have to get up and go to like add to this. And I was gonna be drained and exhausted from just trying to pull him
Mhm.
along with me.
Mm.
So I'm glad I learned that lesson young.
Right.
I had a huge overcrush in that next relationship. He was a little bit too much of a hustler, and landed him in prison. But, you know, but
Balance. So what to take away from here, guys? Balance. Balance.
balance is key, okay? Major key, because that was a major overcorrection. But yeah, like I'm glad I learned that young, and I've never been ashamed of being like, no, there are certain things that
Yeah.
I want. Like, and I have friends who, and I said it because I have friends who are still embarrassed by that. Like,
Yeah.
I have a friend who is like, "Girl, you know you like materials.
Mhm.
So why are you with men with no materials? Why are you convincing yourself that there's something wrong with that? Or why you keep trying to build somebody up? Like, you know that you want to be able to go to like a premiere event
Mhm.
and wear a lovely dress, and you want him to match that energy in a
Mhm.
badass suit. And he on a tie. Like, these things don't matter to this man. Why are you doing this to yourself?
Yeah.
Because then you just end up in this push-pull thing where you're not really happy and they're not happy because you keep trying to make them do this stuff that they don't wanna do and care about things that they don't care about. Just accept that that's who you are, and that's the type
Mhm.
of life that you wanna have with the person so you can get aligned.
Yeah. And let me just say, because I know of a few actually more than I wish to know of situations where the people just kept on with these people. And also, this is both men and women because I've seen
Mm,
this happen with my male friends as well. I
mm.
think our male listeners and y'all growing. Look at y'all. Look at all 8% of y'all. Good for y'all. It's like therapy. Every time one of y'all come in, I'm like, look at y'all. I mean, I feel
You
like some women push you to come here, but okay, that's good
but
for
you're
y'all.
ready to heal, and
But
that's what
you're here.
matters.
Yeah. But I've seen this happen with males, and I want to say, particularly for our male listeners, like y'all have to be careful with that
Mhm,
because I think it is promoted to men that it's okay for their partner to not do anything. And if you
mhm,
are a man that's like, no, I don't want her at home relaxing. I do the work. And that's what you want, by all means, give her
mhm.
that life. I'm for sis. I'm happy for sis. I would like more of y'all to provide that lifestyle, honestly. However, if you know that's not what you want, if you want partnership, if you're like, I do like ambition, I do want to feel like, yo, if something happens and I have a break,
Mhm,
I have a partner that can handle it. I have a
mhm,
partner that's like, you know what, you take your rest. I got this. I can figure it out. And that is okay for y'all to want that. Because I've seen a couple of my male friends fall into that trap of I have a person in particular, who I know who fell into this trap where the person was kind of always very much like, I work to find my husband, really. Like I went to
Mhm.
school to find my husband, and then that didn't work. So I go into my field to find my husband. I done found my husband. We now you my husband. They really had no plans on like working. And they knew this. And they did. They got into marriage knowing that and was okay with that. And then they had something very serious in their life happen. And when that thing happened, it made them realize, oh shit, if I don't have it together, the whole ship sinks, and that
Mhm.
terrified him. Up until that
Mhm.
point, we had a conversation about it. They're like, "I never even thought of it in that way." But that's a terrifying feeling of like, not only is it like, "Oh, it's gonna be rough, but I'll try," but like, she won't even try.
Mhm.
She won't try, she won't put in no effort. Like, we just gonna drown together, and she gonna let us drown. And it's okay for you to realize, like, I don't want that.
Mhm.
I don't want that. Um, Kinda like you said with the ladies, it's perfectly okay to be like, okay, he's working his way up. Maybe he's not at the same level as you. Maybe it's like, okay, but does he have the level of ambition? Because again, I know of too many situations where they stuck with that person. They
Mhm.
married that person. And that same thing is the very reason why they resent their partner now. Because the world is hard enough and you are additional hardness and burden on
Mhm.
top of everything else that's going on.
I'm thinking back to, I'm glad that you specifically addressed the fact that like men get caught in this trap as well because it's real. Like, ladies, we can't be complete bums. Like, like I know a few men that have been stuck in situations where, the relationship needed to end, but they felt like if I leave this woman, she will be homeless. And it feels like that is wrong for me to do. So I'm going to continue to try to help her out. Or I'm going to continue to I know couples that have broken up and they still live together because somebody can't afford to move and go to their own place. Me personally, I have never in my life wanted to be in that situation. I told myself I'd never live with a man until I could afford to live by myself. Because when it's time to go, I got to go. I ain't going to sleeping in no damn guest room or wherever else I'm leaving. Um but I've known so many men who've been stuck in that situation because they're like because again, they just feel bad and feel like like that's a crazy thought to have about somebody. Now, plenty of women don't care. Me personally, if you in my place and we break up and you got to go, the fact that you about to be homeless really is not I don't feel like that's my problem. But again, these are nice, kind people.
Even think it's so much of not a place to go because I like right now I am in Atlanta. I get it. Um, it is like trying to find something under 1,500 for one bedroom,
Mhm.
unless y'all have kids. It's hard right now. So I get that. But my thing is, and this is a big thing for me, I don't believe in dating people who don't have support systems outside of me. That is
Mm,
also something I had to learn in my 20s.
mm,
Because no shame if you who can't afford to live and you can't afford to move right away. No shame in that, but, like, do you have support systems? Like, there's nobody in your life that'd be willing to be like, "Girl, until you get back on your feet, it's okay,
mhm,
you and the baby can come here."
mhm,
And then make sure y'all cool. And I want to stress that because I didn't really figure that out until I was in my late 20s, to be honest with
mhm.
you. Not that I had, like, those type of issues of people not being able to move out my place or whatever, but just in other ways of, like,
Yeah.
"Sir, I'm tired. I just worked, like, 12 hours in the most depressing field in the most stressful area. You don't got nobody else you can call? I'm the only person you can call? That
Mhm,
seems like a problem. That's weird. I get I'm your safe space. Why are you 37 and you have never found another safe space? Date
mhm.
people that have community. And if you're like,
One
"But I don't have community," work on getting community.
you have to.
Before you work on dating, work on getting community.
That's very real. That's a major tip. I'm trying because I'm like, you're right. I've had a situation where I had to leave somewhere and like the next place wasn't ready, but I had a friend. I
Word.
had multiple places I could have laid my head in that meantime, but I damn sure wasn't gonna sit up and stay there.
Word.
But yeah, and also, I don't know. Yeah, at the end of the day, it matters. I understand because people love to throw out like you can't help who you love, and I always counter with, like, you can help who you know and who you choose to interact with. And, like, before you even let yourself get to the love, because I'm so sorry, even though, like, love can be beautiful and it can happen fast or slow or whatever and all these other great things. But, like, when y'all first met and you started inquiring and you noticed some things and you thought, "Ooh," that's when you were supposed to start backing up and probably cutting them off completely, like, and it people dating, like, especially those of us that are, like, older and, like, in our 30s, like, do not waste your time. Like, you could effectively be wasting your time because you should, if you truly want a long-term committed relationship, then you can't waste that kind of time with people. Like, it was cute and fun, like, when you were younger and you're like, "You know what? But I enjoy their company,
Mhm.
and there's more good than bad, so I'll hang out and whatever." But you're just passing time, and you're gonna look up, and it's gonna be a year, 2, however many years later, and you're gonna realize you've not made any progress towards the type of relationship that you actually want because you was playing around giving somebody else a chance because they were cute and they have sex really good, when you need to be worrying about, again, that lifestyle and what's aligned. And I say that because not even so much with the somebody having resources and things, but, like, I definitely had to learn that for myself. Like, actually, if you really want the things that you say that you want out of a relationship, you can't be out here frolicking about with somebody because 'cause they're funny.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not it. And, like, it may feel so, you might feel some type of way because you're like, "But they're really cool, and
Yeah.
I just love to hang out with them." But, like, this type of hanging is not gonna get me what I want. So, if I see you on some nonsense, I had to just,
Yeah.
and thank God for that, because when I finally learned that lesson and started scooting people along, look at that. My wonderful fiancé showed up. He had materials. He's funny. Make room, like, you gotta make room for the type of things you want. If you're just keeping it, like, it's just dead weight. It's just dead weight. I'm sorry. But anyway.
No, you good. I mean, again, I feel like most of us have probably been in situations where we have chose the person over the plan and it ended in regret. And
Mm,
you just kind of got to keep that in mind.
mhm,
Is this person worth giving up the things that I want long term or making the road double as hard? For some people, they're going to say yes. He is, she is. And baby, hey, kudos to you. However, I'm a big believer in like the things that annoy you about the person in the beginning doesn't necessarily go away, especially when you guys never address it. And I can't tell you how many times I have talked to people and they're in the middle of a divorce, they're thinking about divorce and they are divorced. And they were like, honestly, I can't even be mad because I mean, they was kind of like that when we met.
mhm,
But I don't I guess I just thought I could handle it. I just thought it would get better. I just thought it wouldn't be a big enough deal. And there's some things that are like, yeah, they snore. It's annoying. It is, yes, it is messing with my sleep, but I can handle this. There's workarounds. There's things
mm.
around this. But there's other things like again, they have no plans or ambition for life. Can you really work around that? If you super, super rich, I guess, and you're just like, oh, we ain't never gonna have no problem. Cool.
But I was and see, but it's outside of that too, right? Because even if I feel like it's also about, like, are you willing to have experiences that allow you to grow and change and, like, become a better person? Like, this used to be a really big conversation, I feel like, when I was younger about, like, "Oh, did they go to college?" "Well, I went to college. Did this person go to college?" And I always resolved to, like, I don't need someone that necessarily has the same level of education as I do. But I know that college was a transformative experience for me because I got exposed to new ideas and things that I would not have had I not gone. Could I have gotten them some other way? Probably, because I probably would have been out hustling and bustling in life and come across these things. But some people can be so shiftless. I'll say they can be so shiftless that they're not even open to having those types of experiences. So even if a person got a bunch of money
Mhm,
If they're still not if they're not open to having experiences that can help them grow as a person,
mhm.
you're still gonna get tired of them.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think it's even as it can be something as minor as I am a outgoing person and I want to travel. I want to be places. I want to do things. And my person is a homebody. My person does not like that. But and for some people that works. And I'm not knocking that at all. I have been in very mismatched couples like that, and we balance each other out because you got me out in my shell more. I got you to chill out more. It can work like that. But okay, what happens when it's like, yeah, but they also don't want me out?
Mm, mhm,
And so it's
mhm,
not this balance because now they're coming out sometimes and I'm staying in sometimes. No, now they're isolating you. And you're not a person who does well in isolation.
mhm,
It can be lots of little things that I agree with you. It has to be it does not necessarily have to be money, but it is a matter is their mindset overall for how they want to live their life so vastly different that you are going to have to cut little pieces of yourself off to make this thing work.
mhm,
And is that worth it?
mhm.
So I think what we're saying is try to find a love that supports and not restricts you.
Mm,
I think love can be beautiful when it enhances your life, not when it forces you to shrink your vision. The right person is going to complement your lifestyle, not cause conflict with it.
that's so real. Because I spent bulk of my adult life single because I had so many relationships that were stifling.
Mhm.
And I felt like I couldn't grow. Like, it was like, as soon as a relationship ended, I would hit this, like, growth spurt,
Mm,
and, like, things would start happening, and something would open, like, a door would just open, and things would just be happening, and it's like, "Damn, I was really stuck under that person."
mhm.
And I was like, "Oh, I don't wanna be with anyone again until I actually feel like I can still be me and can still grow." And I know in my current relationship, I say current, like I'm gonna have another one. I'm not gonna have it. My in my current relationship,
With her first husband. Go ahead.
right, with um, we both, because we've talked about it, appreciate that we support each other in that way. Like, we can both, like, spearhead off and kind of go off in the world and do our own things because we don't have to worry about this. Like, home base is good, we good. I don't have to worry that I'm gonna go out and enjoy life and I'm gonna come home and you're gonna argue with me.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry that, you know what I'm saying, you're going off to go do something you love and I'm sitting here with an attitude because you left the house. Like,
Yeah.
we're both very supportive of each other, and it allows us to take risks and go out into the world in ways that, you know, that we wouldn't if we had to worry about what's going on at home.
Yeah.
And so it's a gift. But I do think that a lot of people get caught in this trap though because they don't even know what kind of lifestyle they want.
Fair. I think that's fair. I before we get on that point though, I do want to
Mhm,
say like I had the opposite because I feel like I have been lucky. Not all of them. I've told you about that horrible relationship. But I feel like in a lot of relationships, I think that's kind of what makes me know right away that like, oh, this isn't gonna work. Because in the people I have dated seriously, like taken seriously, it's made my life better and not harder. Like, oh, I'm doing better at work. I'm more energized. I'm getting up and wanting to go to work because when I came home, I actually got to recharge. It was so great. I had got loved on, I got supported, I got all the things to refill me so I can go back into the world. And so for me, that was the difference in like when I was going out here dating folks, and I'm like, I'm depleted when I after interacting with you. This is date three. This is only
mhm,
date three. Why are you depleting me so very, very quickly? Okay. Yeah. This might not work. And I bring that up to say, like, check in with that. Because I think
mhm,
sometimes when the laughs are good, the sex is good, you aren't really noticing how much energy people are taking from you, how much energy the relationship is taking from you, and how much you are falling off until some major big thing happens, until your car break down, you realize, I ain't got no money to fix. Why don't I got money? Oh, yeah, because he said I work too much. So I start working less, and so I can save. Oh,
mhm,
okay.
Mhm.
Or, you know, I was supposed to go to Bali this year. Why didn't I go to Bali this year? Oh, yeah, because oh, did you see that? Yeah, I promise I'm getting on track. Did you see that TikTok video of that girl who like made for her like 30th birthday trip? She had like booked this like week-long trip or something like that. I'm messing up the facts, y'all. For her
Mhm.
birthday, and she had made like a TikTok and she was just like, um, but I made that when I was single and alone. And I decided to not go on my trip because I got a man now. And the whole internet was just like, girl, go on your trip. Why can't
No, I
he
didn't
gonna
see
be
that.
here when you come back? It was only a week.
Right.
But she like threw away her birthday chick. She's like, because when I planned it, I was single and alone. It was supposed to make me feel better, but now I have happiness.
Girl, what? No, I have not seen this chaos.
And
Ma'am, go
then
on
she
your
said it was her
trip.
30th because in my head, I'm like, oh, this poor 19-year-old girl who hasn't experienced life yet. And then I was like, oh no, she's 30. This is her 30-year-old trip. And she found a man who's
What?
like, I no longer need to experience things.
And this is exactly what we were talking about, a partner that supports you, because a man that supports you would be like, "Baby, go on your trip." If not, if he's not saying, "Babe, I can get a plane ticket and just come with you if that's what you want." But if he can't, he would never let you cancel your darn trip.
Never.
That's crazy.
Girl, girl, for her 30th. For your
A
30th. Like,
real one to give you some spending money and say go.
look,
What?
look.
What?
Me and the internet were befuddled. We were very confused because I was like, baby, I don't know what that got to do with the other thing. I don't know what you having a man got to do with you not going on vacation. But again, my point of bringing that up was just because some do those check-ins. Yes, I might be.
Yeah.
I found this person, and maybe I found this woman, and I'm happy, and blah blah blah. But did your life change plan? Did your life plan change?
Yeah.
And be honest with
Even like
yourself for the better. You might be like, yes, because I'm loved now. Can you not be loved in Mexico for 5 days? Like, I don't understand.
but even like you said, like those situations that come up, like when something comes up and you're like, I can't even call you because you unreliable, or because you just as destitute as like you can't help me. That's when you really whew.
I recently, my daughter's birthday happened, right? Recently.
Mhm, mhm,
And I wanted to do this big like birthday thing for her and I had paid for it or whatever. And I wanted these extras, but the extras was gonna be more than I like expected.
mhm,
And I had already put down a stack. And so I was just like, okay. Because now my daughter is old enough that someone done told her about designer shoes. First of all, don't know which one of y'all did that shit. Also, some of y'all done told her about like extravagant birthday parties because for her birthday, like I was giving her, baby, here's $300. We going to Target. We don't shop at Target anymore. I know, but back in the day, like we going to because there's no Toys R Us. But you know, and then we gonna have to go to your favorite restaurant. We gonna blah blah blah. It's gonna be family. And she was just like birthday trip, birthday party, everything in pink. I want everybody having matching pajama sets. Like y'all don't told her about Jordans and stuff, and it's just now all very expensive. But like and so I was talking to a person about it and I had just brought it up and I was just like, oh yeah, I was like, yeah, she just I'm gonna have to figure out later. I'm like, I'm gonna have to see if they're gonna let me add it on later. And so I can add this extra payment to it because this was already over a stack. I already spent the money on this. I wasn't expecting this extra expense. And they were just like, oh, I got it. For baby girl's birthday? Okay, how much is it? All right, yeah, no, get it. And I'm not saying that to say again, not to focus in on the money, but like focus in on a person that's like, oh, this is important to you. Let me see if I can problem solve. Let me see if I can be an asset.
yes.
That's all I'm saying. Maybe look into
Simple stuff.
people who are like, how can I be an asset at the very minimum?
Who want to, and like again, like take that time to problem solve with you. Oh, my car, your car's broke down. They might not be able to pay for you to get it fixed, but they might say, you can drop me off at work and take mine.
Let me tell you about this man I had a cuss out in 2019
Oh.
because we were dating and I was having so many issues with my car, the car that I had back then. I had a Volkswagen CC. I had a horrible experience with it. I put so much money in that damn car.
Mm.
But my car had broke down again. I had just put like $3,000 in that car like 3 months before. And I was like so pissed off and I'm like so stressed. And one of my homeboys used to live nearby. And so, him and his girl used to live nearby, and so he happened to call me about something else. I think he had his girls for the weekend, and he was, like, asking me because they had just moved to that area. He knew me and my daughter in the area. He's like, "Hey, what's some things I can do with the girls?" Whatever. And I was just like, "I ain't got time for this. My car broke down, blah, blah, blah." He was just like, "Oh, you good? You need me to come pick you up?" And I was like, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out. This is my homeboy. My homeboy, he got a girl he loved. There's nothing inappropriate going on." He was like, "Oh, you cool, you good?" And I was just like, "I don't know. Just give me a minute." I was mean too, because I was having a bad day. I was rushing to work. I had to go to
Mhm.
court. This is when I worked with the courts at the time. I was running late for court. And so I'm just, I don't know, let me figure out. And I eventually got AAA to like tow my car to the shop. I'm like trying to figure out, do I need to Uber to work or whatever? Because for some of us still got that like hyper independent spirit. So it didn't even cross my
Mhm.
mind at the time really to ask this man that I was dating. Because I'm
Mhm.
so used to problem solving by myself. So,
Mhm.
anyways, at some point I call him and I'm telling him what's happening. And do you know, after all I'm telling him what happened, this man said, "Damn, that sucks."
You know what?
I said,
Piss
"Damn,
me
that
off.
sucks." This man had a company car.
Yeah.
Fucking Aquarius man. Ain't shit man. Anywho, I have a one woman vendetta against Aquarius man. I
No.
stand on that. But I was like, and it took me, it wasn't until he said that I was like, hold on.
Mhm. Mhm.
Sir, we're dating. Why is it that I have a homeboy who offered up to be like, "Hey, you need me to take the baby to daycare? You want me to drop you off to work? Like, what do you need? Do you need a ride back? Like, are you good? Are you and the baby safe?" And you was like, "Damn, that sucks. And you just put money in that car? Damn." And then all of a sudden it was, "Oh, well, I'm sorry. I didn't blah blah blah." It let me that was the end. That was the end. It's just went downhill because I was like, "Oh, you don't." And of course, his whole thing was like, "Well, because you didn't ask. So I didn't know. And you know, you blah 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 blah." At the very least, someone, the bare minimal should be. And I won't lie, that person had me fooled because that person used to do a whole bunch of other stuff. So I was just like, he cares so much. Da, 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 da. At the very
Mhm.
least, someone that's like, if you have a problem, I at least want to try to be an asset.
Mhm. Mhm.
Because even if they're not a problem, sometimes we're like, my last one, he was a problem. He always caused stuff. At least this one don't cause some stuff. Just being there is not good enough.
It ain't.
Just being there and not causing problems should not be the bare minimum.
But this also goes to another point though of like, and I've told people like the thing you are gonna spend so much time in your relationships problem solving. Like, make sure you're with someone you can problem solve with. Like, there are so many things that we put so much weight on
Yeah.
that not saying they don't matter at all, but they don't matter as much as
Mhm.
that. Like, and I know for myself now, especially with the baby, we have to do so much planning and coordinating and problem solving to be able to do to make this thing work, period. Just to be able to get through life and both of us be able to do what we need to do. And I'm like, I am so glad that I prioritize finding someone I could work with, that I could talk to, that we have similar styles of addressing issues. Because if you don't, like, you that could there's so many things that could easily turn into arguing, and then you lean on sex because you base your whole relationship on how good they was in the bed, and now that's all y'all got. That's how y'all problem solve. Y'all don't actually talk through nothing. Their height, them being like 6'2", it's not gonna help you problem solve. That's not. I get everybody got a preference, but again, the things that
Mhm.
people put, and I'm not saying don't find what you want. Please hear me, because when I say that, people be like, "So I should just be with somebody I don't like." That's not what I'm saying. I ain't saying that. I'm just saying there are other things that you were gonna spend more time doing in a relationship than saying, "You so tall." That shit is done and gets old after date 1. So, you need to be trying to align yourself, yeah, with someone that you can problem solve with, because that's what you're gonna be doing a lot of. And just like Rest said, it you don't think it matters until shit don't even gotta hit the fan. It's just inconveniences that you're just like, yeah, even if you have that hyper independent spirit,
Mhm.
'cause I'm the same way. Like, I have a great supportive partner, and have to work on myself to not launch into like, I can just do this and I can arrange that and blah blah blah. And he's sitting here looking at me like, "Babe, I can help you."
Yeah.
Utilize me, please. And I'm like, okay, like I can do that. Thank you for even offering it. Thank you for seeing me go into that mode.
Yeah.
Cause when I get panicked, that's my default.
Mhm.
But thank you for seeing that and being able to say, here's how
Yeah.
I can help you. I got time.
Yeah. I have learned for me, like, I have to date people who see that I have a problem and just step in. Because
Mhm.
like you said, like, it's hard for me. I'm used to having to solve problems by myself, and so I just go into it, and the best thing I have done in my dating life is finding someone that when I'm just like, "Yeah, 'cause I can't. I'm stressed right now. I got this thing going on." "What you stressed about?" "'Cause I got this and I got that." And I'm like, "Oh, well, I can do that. If I take that off your place, would that de-stress you?" Like, I mean, forgetting you there sometimes. Yes, that would de-stress me. That would distress me so much. Thank you.
Also, people who are good at things you're not.
Yeah.
I'm a procrastinator, okay? Woo, goodness. And my partner is if I don't do it right now, I'm gonna forget, so I'm gonna do it right now. Like
Mm.
he does everything right now. It kind of drives me crazy some days, but it's super helpful because
Word.
he can get me geared up to get something done. Even simple stuff like I'll hear the dryer's done, the washing machine is done, the dryer's done. Somebody got to move them clothes
Yeah.
so that they can continue their cycle. I can get it started, but something about that in between part, I
Yeah.
just suck, and they will sit there.
Word, word. I had to Google the other day how like what special wash to get out of mildew clothes because I am
Mhm.
so good about leaving things in a washer for
Yeah.
days and then come back and like, no, now I gotta wash it 18 times.
Watch it again. God damn it. Yes. But I finally just said, like, hey, I'm no good at this part of the task.
Yeah.
So if you're walking past and you see that the washer is stopped and there's clothes in there,
Yeah.
can you just do that for me? Just move them over. I'll fold them, I'll put them away, I'll do all kinds of things. But for what? And he's like, yeah, that's no problem.
Yeah.
And it has helped so much. The clothes get washed so much more efficiently.
It's so good. And also, briefly, just stating, and I want to reiterate this because I know Ashley highlighted this earlier, but yes, them also having money does not mean that they will make things easier all the time. That car situation I talked about, that man had money. That man could have easily been like, "Oh, I'll get you Ubers for the rest of this week. You good?" If he could have very easily gave me his company car. He very easily could have paid for the car to get fixed. To be honest, and now did he offer after he got cussed out? Yes, he did. Yes, he did. May I also add, if y'all out here dating, add to the list people who are generous. And it does not have to be money, financially generous, but like people who are generous in spirit of like, oh, you have a need and I can help. I want to do that.
Mhm.
Men with money who aren't generous are useless.
Ooh, ooh, say it
Men with
again.
men with time who aren't generous with how they use that time are useless.
Mm, mhm.
There, I can't tell you how. And mm, let me just don't be even envying some of these people that are like, oh, because they didn't know. Some of these men are not generous.
And also because I've heard women talk about this too, and I totally get it too, but also it's when they help with or do what they want you to have, like they'll buy you what they
Mhm,
want you to have and not what you
mhm.
actually need.
Yeah.
So you could be like, I really gotta study for this thing, but this book is $150.
Mhm.
And they're willing to buy you a purse because they want you to have that nice purse, but they don't give a damn about helping you get that book. You
Mm.
know what I'm saying? Like, so also people who are trying to actually help support you meet your needs because don't get fooled by clothes and shit that is not helping you. Again, it's nice to have. I'm not saying it's not nice to have everything, but when you know, like, I needed my light bill, I needed help.
Let me and I get it. It can come off feeling ungrateful and can come off feeling but again, going back to but do y'all align?
Mhm.
The type of lifestyle that y'all want for your life, does it align?
So, so again, I think that too, you have to look at like what kind of lifestyle you actually want and like identify that. I think it's totally okay too if there's room for changes and growth because what you might want in your 20s might be totally different from what you want in your 30s, your 40s, 50s, what have you. But it's good to like get some basics out there, like, how do you wanna live? Do you like the simpler things in life, or do you like the finer things? Do you like both and want someone who understands that balance? Do you do you want a big family? Do you want a small family? Do you want a family at all? Those types of things matter. Are you the type of person that knows you're gonna go visit your extended family, your grandma or whomever, every Christmas? And is that person even family oriented like that? Do they like doing stuff like that? Or is it a no? Do you practice a particular belief or religion and you know you want a partner who aligns with that? Stop trying to be say this as someone who has come across people. Anyway, um, but if you know that's important to you and that's truly something that you wanna go to Bible study on Wednesdays and you want your man there with you, find somebody who does that.
Mhm.
Don't try to drag a heathen. I'm just like, don't try to, make someone into that it's not, and don't try to skimp on it if you know that's something that matters to you.
Yeah. And again, it's not to say that you're not allowed to have differences with your person. There can be differences if it is, again, not a complete change to your lifestyle. You do not have to conform your way of being to be with this person. But think about what are the things that are your way of being. Think about the things that are going to be very central to your life. You want to travel multiple countries. You want to be able to say, I got multiple passport books completely full and booked up. He on a no flies list. Is it going to work?
Mhm.
It's okay to have differences. It's okay to have things that you might have to tweak and so forth, but you should not be completely changing your lifestyle, sacrificing the lifestyle that you want for somebody just because, yeah, I really, really like them.
I would also say too, be mindful of like things that you feel like you might have to stop doing. And I mean, we said it in big ways, but even in little ways. Like if you're the type of person that likes to play music through the house and like dance in the morning, I don't know. If you feel like, oh, but if I live with you, then that's gonna be weird and I'm gonna have to stop, or just things like that. I feel like that's like that matters too. Look into those type, like even those types of things matter. Like, we all have our little quirks and things that we do, yes, when we're alone that no, we don't wanna do when other people are around.
Mhm.
But I feel like you shouldn't have to give up all of those things when you like, I feel like you should feel just as comfortable, as close as you can to, like, still having kind of those little quirky things that you like to do on your own that make your life a little bit happier and special. You shouldn't have to give those things up for
Yeah.
a partner.
Yeah. Your way of being should not be jeopardized for partnership. Whether that way of being is kind of like you said, I got quirks that I like to do, and they're like, ew, that's weird. Stop doing that. It's worth being like, is there someone that's like, "Yeah, do it, I don't care." Probably.
Probably. Yeah. I mean, if it's a bad habit, by all means, but but again, if it's something that you're like, "This is what like I like to get up in the morning and read and whatever else." I don't know, whatever your thing is. I feel like we all just have our little things, and you enjoy those things, and I think if you don't even pay attention to that and that you don't think about it consciously,
Mhm.
they can seem small enough that you'll let them slide.
Yeah.
And then you'll look up one day and realize, like, "Who am I?
Mhm.
What did I used to do with this space and time that I enjoyed? It's gone, I've forgotten it."
Yeah. I'll give you a perfect example for me. I like a lot of alone time, and of course, when I'm in partnership, especially that beginning, I forget about that. I'm like, "Be next to me all the time." And then I slowly go back to that, like, "Alright, alright, alright. Don't you got a home?
Mhm.
Why aren't you there?" But it can be stuff like that, like, if you know you're a person that does require a lot of alone time to function, and they like to be all up under you all the time, like, can you do that for 10, 20 years?
Mm.
Can you do that without resenting them? Can you do that without it eventually becoming a big thing? I know for me, I get cranky when I don't have time to recharge by myself. I get cranky, I get a little bit me. So those little things, those do, yeah, I agree with you. Those things do matter.
Mhm.
All right, y'all. So that's today's episode. We hope you guys enjoyed. Again, just keeping up that reminder to Choose lifestyle over just liking someone. It doesn't mean you have to be forever alone, but it does mean when you do find the love, try to make sure it's the right type of love, the kind that doesn't make you sacrifice yourself in order to possess it. Now, you can give us a follow on TikTok. I'm pretty sure we're shadow banned, but you should still follow us. We're working on it. I know it seems like I've been saying that since December, but I have been working on it at She Wolf Alchemy Podcast or on Instagram at She Wolf Alchemy. And leave us a like and review. We'll give some review with words wherever you are listening. And we'll have a new episode for you next Sunday. Bye.
Bye.